Hello there everybody, Swandzz here today to make a video that's actually going to be helpful and not just stupid. Wow. As you may or may not know, I have designed and produced my own tarot deck that I have done 3 different pre-orders for. It is technically no longer available, and I probably won't produce it again in the future unless there is a lot of interest in it, so it's definitely not off the table, and I do plan on making different editions of the deck later on. If you are interested in purchasing my deck, I have 2 available. That's it. So DM me on Instagram if you'd like to snag one of those before it's too late. However, that's not what this video is about, okay? By the end of this video, you should have all the information you need to go out and design your very own tarot deck. The reason why I wanted to make this video is because making a tarot deck, designing a tarot deck, is something that I wanted to do for literally the longest time, and I put it off because I didn't think that it was doable. And it's not because I didn't think I had the artistic talent or something like that. It was just purely difficulty based in terms of the fact that there's 78 cards in a tarot deck, and I just felt like that was so much commitment. That was such a big project. And I'm the kind of person who does not like to start projects unless I can finish them in a timely manner, because basically, you know, in a half a year from now, if I'm still working on something, I've more than likely lost my passion for it. I have very explosive energy, and I like to just get things done as I'm inspired to do them, right? So I, for one, I felt like it would be really difficult just to actually complete it. And for 2, I wanted to pay homage to the art of reading tarot, and I wanted to do it justice. And I didn't want to just slap together something, you know, with my art on it. I wanted it to be a real freaking tarot deck that had all the symbolism, that had all the correct imagery, but was reimagined by me. It just seemed like such a daunting task. But after having done it, I will say, for 1, I feel so freaking accomplished. And for 2, it really was not anywhere near as difficult as I thought it was gonna be. So here is the deck as I speak about it. This took me about 2 months to complete. And that was the entire, you know, planning phase and the execution of everything. It might have taken a little more than 2 months if we're, you know, taking into consideration getting them ready for being printed. So today I'm going to catalog step by step how to design and create your own tarot deck. First things first, choose your medium. A tarot deck can be made with pretty much any visual art medium, right? So you could do photography, digital art, traditional art. If you choose traditional art, are you doing paintings? Are you doing drawings? If you're doing paintings, are they going to be watercolor, acrylic, oil, charcoal? Like what's your medium? Now, to choose your medium, I would pick something that you can realistically accomplish in your time frame. So give yourself a time frame. Like you don't have to do yours as quickly as I did mine. Let's say you want to dedicate 6 months of your life to making this tarot deck. You need to pick a medium that you can do 78 unique pieces of artwork within that time frame, right? I chose to draw, and the reason I did that is, for 1, I felt like my style, my drawing style, would look really good as a tarot deck. And the second reason was that I can draw quickly. If I was going to do paintings, that would have taken a very, very long time. So, like I said, I didn't want to be spending a million years on this and then run out of passion and then never complete it. So I tried to pick a medium that I knew I could work with quickly and efficiently and well. After you have chosen your medium, you then need to start brainstorming ideas. So think of a tarot deck as a novel. You need to plan what's gonna go into it. Okay? Does that make sense? You need to figure out, are you going to stick very true to the original Rider White and just redraw those exact drawings in your own style? Or are you going to get really imaginative? And if so, what's the theme of your deck? Are you going to do a fantasy deck? Are you going to do one that's all women or all men? Or do you want to do just a specific type of animal? Like I've seen a tarot deck that's like all dogs, you know what I mean? So you need to figure out what your angle is going to be. I took each suit and used the element associated with it to help me figure out what imagery I was going to put into each one. So this is a cup card, and cups are water. And because of that, I chose to use a lot of mermaids. I knew that I wanted to do a fantasy type imagery, so then I just had to figure out, okay, what type of fantasy creature am I gonna do that is water related? For example, for the King of Cups, I did a hippocampus, which is, you know, the fish horse. So it's in this phase that you are planning your deck. You're figuring out what symbolism you need to incorporate into every suit and all of that. Step 3, you're gonna start drawing. I know, crazy. I decided to start with the major arcana cards. And the reason why I did that was because there were fewer of them. There's 22. I found that number a bit less intimidating. I always do my best work when I'm feeling very passionate and inspired. So I started with whichever card spoke the most to me, and the first card I did in the entire deck was the moon. Here she is. So this was the first card that I did, okay? During the drawing phase, I would try to give yourself a time frame to complete the project without being too strict. So I wanted to finish one card every day, and I figured that would take me however long it took. It ended up only taking 2 months because there was plenty of days where I did more than one card, but that's because I was feeling extra inspired. And then there were days where I didn't do any cards at all, actually, because I was just burnt out. I would try and figure out what workflow is best for you and try to adhere to it if you can, without stretching yourself out too much. You can get a calendar and then write, you know, on which days you plan on drawing, and maybe how many cards you plan on finishing a day, a week, yada yada. The next step is to digitize your artwork. Whether or not you did the design digitally, you're gonna need the artwork to be digitized so that it can be printed. Now, it's important to remember that a higher resolution is better for print. So let's say you have Photoshop, you would want to set your resolution to 300 for images that are going to be printed. So the bigger the file, usually the better. Because you can always compress it later, but you can't make it larger without, you know, pixelating it. I did my drawings traditionally, and then I scanned them onto the computer, and then I edited them with Photoshop and changed up a couple things, threw some effects on them, cleaned them up, made them look more professional, and that's when I also added my text and everything. And I would suggest doing the text digitally and not like writing on every card, because that can get blurred out. I mean, you can do that, but it's just not going to be as clean and crisp as it would be if you used an actual, you know, digital font. So this would be the step where you start to make adjustments. There was plenty of things that I added in post to the cards in Photoshop that I hadn't originally drawn there. For example, in this one, the little cups and flowers and things that are all in the background, I kind of moved those around as I saw fit in Photoshop. So I didn't have to stick exactly to what I had drawn. So that is something to keep in mind, like let's say with an acrylic painting or something, it's gonna be harder to make adjustments to that in post. So that's part of the reason why I chose to draw, because I knew it would be easy to edit that and move things around if I had to in post. So the final step really is to have your deck printed. Obviously, making the back and all of that is part of the designing phase and part of the drawing phase. So I used a website called makeplayingcards.com. I did have a couple issues with them during the production process, and I do think that that was mostly because of the whole, quarantine and COVID-19 thing. They did fix everything that they had messed up, so I'm not in bad standing with this company, but I'm just letting you know about my experience with them so that you can choose to use them or not. I would definitely do your research and compare prices to find the best deal. Remember that the more decks you buy at once, the better a deal you're going to get per deck. However, let's say you're just making this deck for yourself and not to resell. The cost of one could be as much as like $30 something, but that's not too much more than decks typically are anyway. And then you get to have your own freaking tarot deck. So it's still totally worth it, even if you're just gonna buy one or two, or a couple or something. All right, guys, so there you have it. That is how I went about creating this tarot deck. Every day, it kind of dawns on me that I finished it, and it blows my mind. Seriously, I'm so proud of myself. Wow, Sarah. Wow. I mean, it really does feel like finishing a book or something. Like, it's a big deal. Like, people can read tarot with this now. They can use my artwork to read tarot, and that's amazing, okay? It's a great feeling, and I highly recommend that if you've been wanting to do it, give it a crack. You know what I mean? Even if you never get to the printing phase. At least draw, at least brainstorm a little bit, come on. So hopefully throughout this video I have inspired you to go out and do something that you've been wanting to do if making a tarot deck has been one of those things. Now I'm going to take a moment to thank my patrons. Thank you guys so much for all of your love and support. It means the world to me. Love. Now I will verbally thank my diamond tier patron. Thank you very much, Sarah. You are wonderful, and I will catch you guys all in the next video. Bye. Okay, and click all of my little buttons. You can click my subscribe circle or the video or playlist that's listed below. You also find a link to my Patreon where you can support me for as little as $1 a month. I keep holding up 2 fingers when I just need 1 finger. I don't know why. Two's better than 1, I guess, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.